believe this, but it actually took Dwayne Johnson 15 years to get Black Adam to go ahead. How do you even have the patience, mate? Let's look into Black Adam.
Come on, show the movie! Hey, down in front!
Nine!
So Black Adam is the new DCEU movie starring Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. So Black Adam has awakened thousands of years after being chosen as a champion, and pretty much he is a force to be reckoned with. Meanwhile, the Justice Society of America is trying to reason with him to see whether if he is able to be a hero, is he a villain, or is he an anti-hero? Who knows? Let's see what's going to happen. First of all, I'm going to tell you, Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam, he is Black Adam now, whether you like it or not. Honestly, I feel like this is one of my favourite Dwayne Johnson performances I have seen, and it is saying a lot compared to like a mixed bag of some of his movies, but with Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam, like, honestly, I'm grateful that he was chosen to be Black Adam. The characteristics of Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam in this movie, like, he is a force to be reckoned with. Like, he is a person who does not give a flying F who you are. He is going to kill you. He is going to destroy you. He's going to fling you across seas. He's going to electrocute the hell out of you. And honestly, I just love it, eh? Like, I just love that this is a different type of acting range for Dwayne Johnson, and especially for a character like Black Adam. Black Adam is supposed to be a guy who cannot be reasoned with, he cannot be controlled, and he does his own thing. And Dwayne Johnson pulls that off beautifully in this movie, and I'm really grateful that he was chosen in this role and put in so much effort and so much heart into this movie, and I'm really glad for that. We do get the introduction of the Justice Society of America. Like, we do get Dr. Fate, we do get Hawkman, we also get Cyclone, and we also get Atom Smasher. Now, first of all, Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate, I love that this was a perfect casting for him, I feel like. Dr. Fate, he's got the vibes of Doctor Strange in this movie, and I do enjoy seeing Pierce Brosnan in a movie, especially like this as well. Like, obviously, we know him as James Bond. We also know him in other movies like Mrs. Doubtfire or Dante's Peak back in the 90s, but it's nice to see a character and an actor like Pierce Brosnan portraying a iconic DC hero. Now, Aldous Hodge as Hawkman. Now, I love the characteristics of Hawkman in this movie. Like, it feels like he has a bit of a... It's like similar to like a chip on his shoulder, where in this movie, he's pretty much focused on saving as many people as he can, but unfortunately, Black Adam is just sort of interfering with that, and he's just like questioning whether if it is worth, reasoning with Black Adam, or, is he just going to be another villain that they're going to have to face. And I like that introduction of Hawkman in this movie, and I feel like it is... He's a hero that can stand up against Black Adam, and granted, like, Hawkman is a powerful person, but when you're comparing him to a god and they're clashing against each other, obviously, like, there's going to be some different similarities when it comes to them fighting each other, but I like that he can stand toe-to-toe with Black Adam in this movie, and I thought it was a really good choice to put him in it. Also with Cyclone and Atom Smasher in this movie as well, I thought that they were a good comedy duo together. Like, obviously, they were the ones with some of the jokes and some of the quips, and obviously doing some funny stuff in the background, but I thought that it was good to see them in the movie as well, and I feel like this movie is a good introduction to bring them in, and also all these other characters as the Justice Society of America, which is really good to be able to see their debut in this movie as well. Now, speaking of the Justice Society of America, I do feel like, this superhero group is perfect for fighting against Black Adam. Now, sure, we can't really get the Justice League in this movie because that would just be barbaric, but to have the Justice Society of America with, Dr. Fate, Hawkman, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher just going toe-to-toe with Black Adam, I feel like it was a good choice. And also, you do see in this movie that, these are heroes that can stand toe-to-toe with this guy, and I feel like that it was a good and smart choice to be able to put them in the movie. Now, I'm going to go into a bit of spoiler territory here, so this is a spoiler warning, so if you don't want to see any spoilers, jump ahead in the description below, and I'll see you later in 3, 2, 1. Okay, now that us cool kids are back, let's talk about sort of like a bit of the ups and downs of this movie, which I feel like I need to say. Now, obviously, there are a couple of human characters that you're going to see in this movie. Now, there is a kid actor, which kind of reminds me a little bit about Freddy in the, first Shazam movie, but I feel like he wasn't really that necessary to It kind of felt like a copy of Freddy from the first Shazam movie, but overall, I didn't mind the kid in this movie, but that's just a little bit of a nitpicky complaint I have about this movie. Now, overall, with this movie, you do get a couple of cameos in this movie. First off, one is revealed in the trailer. Viola Davis as Amanda Waller is back in this movie, and it's really cool to see her still just roaming around in the DCEU trying to control everything, and I love that Viola Davis just plays her perfectly. But probably the biggest one that we've gotten, and that was in the mid-credit scene. There's no end-credit scene, by the way, if you guys didn't stick around, but there is a post-credit scene. Henry Cavill is back as Superman, Clark Kent. Now, obviously rumors were going around that he was going to make an appearance in Black Adam, and I'm glad that they did. And the way that the scene was portrayed, obviously it's going to see that Black Adam and Superman are going to clash in a future movie one day. Now, granted, the original plan was to have Shazam versus Black Adam in the first movie, but obviously it was a smart choice to keep, Black Adam in his own movie, especially if he's played by, Dwyane Johnson, because obviously if Dwyane Johnson was in Shazam, his stardom would have overshadowed Zachary Levi's performance as Shazam, and I feel like it was definitely a smart choice to have Shazam in his own movie and to have Black Adam in their own movie, so then they can eventually clash together and have a fight or whatever they're going to do, like Shazam teams up with Superman or something to fight Black Adam, because Black Adam's just gone rogue, so it'll be interesting to see what this, what the movies are going to be introducing soon. Now, the one thing I do like about this movie too is that it does feel a bit like a reset button for the DCEU. Now, granted, DCEU movies have been a mixed bag. Some have been great, some have been okay, some have been disappointments, but eventually have gained a cult following later on and have been appreciated a lot more. And obviously, with DC, they can't always be Marvel movies. Like, I do get a bit annoyed when people want, like superhero movies that aren't Marvel movies to be like Marvel movies. Now, don't get me wrong, like Marvel movies are great. I love Marvel and DC combined, but I just love that uniqueness of DC, that they are different. Who cares if they're a bit darker? Who cares if they might be a bit more adult? But in all honesty, we both grew up with Marvel and DC characters, and to have this type of variety in movies, I feel like it is good. And for Black Adam to come out and to sort of be the reset button to bring back to life the DCEU and to start, getting back its momentum. And clearly as well, the DCEU has a fan base and people love these movies. So why wouldn't you continue with it? It is a money-making type of movie. Now, obviously, movies are involved to make money, but when you're starting to introduce a wider audience to movies of things that people are excited to see, like Superman versus Black Adam, it's going to be money-making gold, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what other movies that, they're going to be releasing. And clearly as well, with that reset button, Dwayne Johnson is basically going to possibly be the Kevin Feige of the DCEU. So it is interesting to see what ideas and what projects are going to be coming out and probably be announced later on. But for now, this is a good taste to see what's going to happen. Okay, now that we're out of the spoiler territory here, now I'm going to give you my honest opinion on this movie. Now, the first and second act in this movie, I thoroughly enjoyed. I love the introduction of Black Adam. I love the introduction of the Justice Society of America. I love the fact that this is a great starting point and a sort of like a reset button into making a newer and much more fresher take on the DCEU. Obviously, with the third act, though, it may be a bit 50-50 for people, and when the villain when the villain does appear, obviously this villain, obviously it's just basically going to be something to prove that how powerful Black Adam is. But overall with this movie as well, with the reveals that are happening, honestly, I'm really looking forward to what other movies and what other projects that DC are going to offer. But with that being said, with this movie, I did thoroughly enjoy it. I wasn't really bored at all in this movie. I I love the idea of how powerful, how gnarly, and how brutal Black Adam can be. I love the introduction of the Justice Society of America. But with this movie, I do feel like it is worthy to buy on Blu-ray or 4K, and it is worthy of a rewatch, considering the fact that it is part of the DCEU, and if you're going to marathon through it, you're going to have to rewatch Black Adam anyway. Well, what did you guys think of Black Adam? Did you like it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can follow my socials up here as well, and as always, like I say at the end of these videos, don't forget the popcorn.